present in court, together with their attorney, Barbara and Chad Williams. Attorney is Ashley Heitkamp. Present in court, defendant Blaine Hare, together with his attorney, Sean Autry. Sydney Beta, parenting investigator, is present. State of North Dakota is a statutory real party in interest in this matter. Attorney Shar does not appear. No appearance from Erica Williams, second defendant. We're here. This is a post-judgment matter. Judgment was entered back on August 21, 2024, record index 90. A number of contempt issues have arisen concerning child support. Back on September 10, 2025, Ms. Heitkamp filed a motion to amend judgment to modify parenting time and request hair follicle test. Ultimately, the court disposed of that.
Good morning, Ms. Williams.
Good morning.
Can you state for the record where you currently live
In rural Jamestown.
and who lives with you there?
My husband Chad and my grandchildren Aubrey and Kyson.
And you're Kyson's maternal grandmother, correct?
Correct.
And Blaine Hare is Kyson's biological father.
Correct.
In October of 2021, Blaine was awarded primary residential responsibility of Kyson, correct?
Can you repeat that?
Back in October of 2021, was Blaine awarded primary residential responsibility of Kyson?
I believe so. Yes.
And when I say primary residential responsibility, do you know what that means?
Yes.
And then in April of 2023, you and Chad commenced a non-parent custody proceeding, correct?
Yes.
That case did not ultimately proceed through a contested custody trial, correct?
Yes.
It did go through a full trial?
We came to the courtroom. Yes.
Did you guys reach an agreement prior to testifying that day?
I did not testify that day.
Did you guys reach an agreement? The two attorneys put the agreement together on the record?
Yes.
And that judgment that was entered August 21st, 2024, awarding you primary residential responsibility was based upon that stipulation of those terms you guys agreed to, correct?
Yes.
That judgment contained a specific provision concerning future modifications, correct?
Yes.
And you agreed to those provisions?
Yes.
It specifically contemplated a parent demonstrating sustained sobriety, correct?
Can you repeat that?
That specific provision in the judgment specifically contemplated a parent demonstrating sustained sobriety.
Yes.
In fact, the judgment provided that 1 year of sobriety and absence from drugs, excluding time spent in treatment facility, would constitute a substantial and continuing change in circumstances, correct?
Yes, partially. Yeah.
So when you entered that agreement, you understood that both biological parents actually could rehabilitate and bring it back to court after that year, correct?
Yes.
In remembering back to that paragraph, what was your position that if Blaine became or continued to be sober and was stable, that he could have custody, could return back to Blaine?
That was part of it. Yes.
Do you believe Blaine is sober today?
No.
What evidence have you brought today that would suggest that Blaine is not sober today?
It just depends on the definition of sober.
Okay. Do you have any knowledge or evidence today that Blaine has used any illegal drugs since the judgment was entered back in 2024?
No,
Now you brought up sobriety. I'm assuming when he's using medical marijuana, do you consider that not sober?
yes.
I don't understand the question and response, Mr. Autry. Can you ask that again?
Yeah, I'll reword it. When you say that he's not sober, but you don't think he's using any illegal drugs, what does that mean to you?
Mind altering drugs. I feel that marijuana does alter your mind and your body's ability to make decisions.
But you don't deny that he has a medical marijuana card, correct?
There's no way for me to know that.
Do you have any evidence to suggest he does not?
No. Just what the parenting report says.
Blaine was given unsupervised parenting time with Kyson in the 2024 judgment, correct?
Yes.
And was that because at that point in time, he was sober?
Yes, according to having the medical marijuana card.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. Was that because he was not using any illegal drugs at that time?
As far as I know, yes.
During that time frame, Erica, your daughter and the biological mom of Kyson, was still struggling with illegal drugs, correct?
At what time?
Back in 2024 when the judgment was entered?
Yes.
And then her parenting time was supervised, correct?
Yes.
Would you agree in that judgment that Blaine and Erica were treated very vastly differently when it comes to parenting time?
Yes.
And what was the reasoning for that?
It's the way it was written in the report.
Well, what is your idea of why it would have been written that way? Because let me back up. Erica had supervised parenting time and a step-up program for her to get unsupervised, correct?
Correct.
And what was the reasoning for that?
Because she was using.
Blaine was awarded unsupervised parenting time, correct?
Well, we thought he was going to have parenting time with his parents. So I guess that's not really unsupervised. Our
Have you
understanding
read
is that.
have you read the judgment?
Yes.
Okay. Does that judgment in there state he has unsupervised parenting time with Kyson?
I don't recall if it says supervised or unsupervised.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Barb, I just handed you the judgment from 2024. Just to kind of refresh your memory, can you read that paragraph I pointed to?
Blaine's parenting
No,
time.
no, to yourself, please.
Oh.
May I approach again, Your Honor?
Yes.
After reviewing the judgment entered in 2024, did Blaine have supervised parenting time?
No.
Did he have unsupervised parenting time?
Yes.
What was that parenting schedule that he was awarded?
Every other weekend from Friday to Monday morning,
And from Friday, what time was he supposed to pick up the child, pick up Kyson?
after school or after work,
And what time on Monday was he supposed to return Kyson?
before school.
And was there some extended summer parenting time also in that judgment?
Yes.
And what was that?
Up to 10 consecutive days with 30 days prior notice.
And you agreed to those provisions, correct?
Yes.
So when you entered the 2024 stipulation, you agreed that Blaine could safely exercise unsupervised overnight parenting time with his son?
Yes.
Now you filed declarations since that time asking for supervised parenting time, correct?
Correct.
And that is based on your thoughts that he is using illegal drugs?
No.
That you don't believe he's using illegal drugs at all?
Illegal drugs?
Illegal drugs.
No, I don't know. There's no way for me to know.
On September 9th of 2025, you signed a declaration asking the court to modify Blaine's parenting time, correct?
Yes.
And you understood that declaration was being submitted to the court?
Yes.
And the court was taking that as your testimony and it was supposed to be truthfully and lawfully made?
Yes.
And you understand that the court would rely upon that declaration for part of your motion, right?
Yes.
So in that declaration, you intended to identify the important reasons you believe Blaine's parenting time should be lessened and possibly restricted, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
One of the principal concerns in that declaration was your suspicion that Blaine might be using illegal drugs. Is that correct?
Yes.
You did not personally observe him using methamphetamine, did you?
No.
Did you personally see him using fentanyl?
No.
Personally observe him using illegal opioids?
No.
Opioids? Do you have any evidence that he's tested positive for methamphetamine, fentanyl, or any opiates?
No.
But nevertheless, you, in your declaration, suspected he was using illegal drugs at that time, correct?
Some sort of drug or something.
Well, and that's why you requested a hair follicle test, correct?
Correct.
Since that time, Blaine has submitted his monthly drug tests he takes for his monthly drug test that he's taking, correct?
No, we didn't get any monthly hair follicle test emailed to us from the lab.
I'm talking as we sit here today, through your attorney and through discovery and things of that nature, have you gotten confirmation that Blaine has taken drug tests and they came back negative?
One, I believe I've heard about.
Okay. So you've never seen any drug tests showing negative results at all?
The one hair follicle test, I believe.
Just one hair follicle test and nothing more?
I believe so.
Do you have any evidence at all or anything to suggest that specifically testing or observations specifically too, that Blaine has used any illegal drugs since 2024?
No.
You filed another declaration after that first one in September 9th, on September 9th, 2025, correct?
Yes.
And you didn't mention anything in that first declaration or the second declaration that Kyson was afraid of Blaine, did you?
I don't recall what was put in there.
You don't recall what was in your declarations?
I'm happy to read it.
Did you review your declarations before you signed them?
I did.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I just handed you a laptop that has a declaration that was signed by you, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what is the date of that signature on there?
What's the what?
The date of that signature?
September 9th of 2025.
Okay, can you review that declaration?
Sure.
Have you had a chance to review that declaration?
I'm reading it right now, yes. Sorry, I actually accidentally pushed a button that put it back to the top.
Oh, take your time. Have you refreshed your memory
Yes,
after reviewing your declaration?
yes.
May I approach, Honor?
Yes.
Do you recall reviewing and signing that declaration back in on September 9th of 2025?
Yes.
And do you recall if everything in that was a truthful statement?
Yes,
And at that point, you had put that declaration together specifically to, at the time, you're requesting to have either supervised parenting time and or to limit some of Lane's parental parenting time, correct?
yes,
In that declaration, you did not state Kyson was scared to go to his father's home, correct?
no,
You did not state that Kyson was asking to be protected from his father, correct?
no,
You did not identify any significant behavior decline of Kyson that you attributed to Blaine at that time, correct?
no,
You did not identify any therapist or school official or occupational therapist or anybody that was recommending supervised parenting time at that, during that declaration, correct?
correct.
You did not identify any teacher who had recommended supervised parenting time in that declaration, correct?
No,
Would you agree that if Kyson had been telling you that he was afraid of his father at that time, that would have been important information for the court?
yes,
But there were none of these allegations in that September 9th, 2025 declaration, correct?
correct.
Your September declaration also raised concerns about Chloe. Who is Chloe, as far as you know?
Lane's wife.
In that declaration, you suggested that Chloe might not be a safe person for Kyson to be around, correct?
Correct.
Had you ever personally witnessed Chloe physically abusing Kyson?
No,
In fact, at that point in time, had you even met Chloe?
no,
Have you had any kind of physical contact or seen her from a distance or anything at that time?
just from her car.
And you never witnessed any kind of domestic violence between Chloe and Blaine?
No,
And you never identified any kind of injury Chloe caused Kyson?
no,
as we sit here today, do you have any evidence today that you provided to the court or have that that Chloe has not been a good parental figure while in the presence of Kyson?
No,
And now, at this point in time, Chloe's been around Kyson for almost a year, correct?
almost, yes.
But in that declaration, you were asking the court to find that Chloe should not be alone with Kyson because of her past, correct?
A current judgment that she had, yes, gave us that information, that her own children needed safeguards.
I'm sorry, did you say your current judgment or a current court judgment? I want to make sure I'm understanding.
A current court judgment that Chloe had with her ex-husband, I believe,
Thank you.
stated that her own children needed safeguards in place during visitation. So that was concerning for us.
Now, and I get it, you read that back in 2025 and now fast forward to where we're at today. Today, do you have any evidence to suggest that Chloe's any kind of danger to Kyson?
I do not have evidence.
Do you believe, from what you've seen from Kyson, that he loves Chloe and treats her almost like a mother figure?
Yes,
Your September declaration focused significantly on transportation, correct?
could you say that again, please?
Your declaration that we just reviewed here focused a lot on transportation, correct?
Yes,
In fact, Blaine had moved to Grand Forks during that time, correct?
I don't know when he moved to Grand Forks.
When did you find out about him moving to Grand Forks?
In a text message when he demanded that we come pick Kyson up that weekend.
And did you make it very clear that you did not want to drive to Grand Forks for parenting time?
Yes, on such short notice.
So if it wasn't short notice, then you'd have no problem driving to Grand Forks to pick up Kyson?
I don't think we should drive to Grand Forks.
So the amount of time he noticed you wasn't affecting your decision not to drive to Grand Forks?
It was because we're very flexible and can work things out.
Well, let's fast forward to so that weekend, Blaine did not have parenting time with Kyson, correct?
A weekend he didn't.
And that was because you guys said you would not drive up there, correct?
He said he wouldn't bring him back. And we let him know that we already had family plans.
So you had family plans over Blaine's parenting weekend.
Yes, because we still have our other granddaughter who does not have parenting time at that same weekend. So we make plans on that weekend.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Blaine tells you, I'm in Grand Forks. I need you to pick up Kyson here in Grand Forks for the judgment or whatever his agreement that he thought was, correct?
He told us on late Friday night or Saturday morning.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop you there. Mr. Hare, I need you to refrain from making facial expressions or shaking your head. Your body language is distracting and it's an attempt to influence the witness. It needs to stop. Understood?
Yep.
All right.
I wasn't trying.
I won't tell you again. Just don't do it, okay?
Yep.
Go ahead.
So your testimony today is you refused that coming to pick up Kyson in Grand Forks because you had other family plans. Why couldn't you drive there during Blaine's parenting time?
What do you mean? Change our plans to drive there?
Well,
Is that what you're asking?
What is his parenting time in the judgment state?
From Friday night until Monday morning.
Okay. Blaine asked you to pick up Kyson on Sunday from Grand Forks, correct?
Yes, at 5:30.
And your answer to him was no, correct?
Correct.
Now, the following week, I guess 2 weeks from there, when Blaine had parenting time again, did you drive to Grand Forks?
No,
In fact, did you tell Blaine that he was not gonna have Kyson if he didn't drive him back?
yes. Well, I didn't, but yes, my husband did.
So until we had a hearing months later, Blaine drove back and forth to Jamestown for his parenting time, correct?
Yes,
You're considering the drive from Grand Forks to Jamestown just too long of a drive for your situation, correct?
could you repeat that?
The drive from Grand Forks to Jamestown, how long of a drive is it?
Well, we live southwest of Jamestown, a half hour, so I would say it's 3 hours.
You understand that a lot of parents, when they're split families or divorced or don't live in the same area, that they drive for parenting time every other weekend. Do you know about that, or do you know of anyone that does that?
Yes,
And do you agree that it's important for Kyson to spend time with his father?
yes,
And do you agree that it may hinder your life a little bit to make sure that that happens?
yes.
So why would you not, until the court ordered you to drive to Grand Forks, why would you not cooperate with Blaine before that?
We never knew the schedule. We never knew where we were going. And so we made plans. His text message to us said when his folks can't help out. So how do we know when his folks can't help out?
Did you ask?
So we made plans.
Did you ask when they could help out?
I did not ask for his parents' schedule. No,
Did Blaine offer to meet halfway?
yes, I believe so. On that occasion, on one occasion.
But not until the court ordered it, you guys refused to drive to Grand Forks to pick up Kyson, correct?
It wasn't brought back up after that.
After that hearing where the court said, we
No, it wasn't brought back up after the one where he said he would not bring Kyson back. And we already had plans. We offered him to bring Kyson to my parents' place until we could have him. And he said no. So we canceled it
okay.
because we
Like-
had no way of picking him up.
My question to you is, before the court ordered on the record for you to follow the judgment exactly, you were not allowing, or you were not doing any of the transportation, correct?
Yes, we always drive to Jamestown. We've done that every time. So that is transporting.
Okay,
But he never, ever asked us to come to Grand Forks again until the court hearing in January, I believe it was.
did you review any of his responses that he filed?
Yes,
Was it clear in those responses that he did not think it was fair that he'd have to drive both ways?
yes,
So just to make it clear, you did not drive to Grand Forks until the court ordered you to, correct?
Correct.
You signed another declaration in November, on November 20th, 2025. Do you recall that declaration?
I don't know which one you're talking about exactly.
The second one. Do you recall signing one in November?
I remember signing one, another one, yes.
Do you remember the contents of that?
I would like to see it again, please.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Barb, I've handed you a laptop that has your exhibit dated November 20th, 2025. Can you review that?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Barb, I just had you refresh your memory about the November 20th, 25 declaration that you signed, correct?
Correct.
And again, you submitted that to the court,
Yes.
and that was in direct response to a declaration that Blaine had filed, correct?
Yes. If that's how it works.
Well, you agree that you signed it, you read it,
Yes.
everything was truthful when you put that in, when you put that
Yes.
together? And again, in that declaration, you're asking the court to address Blaine's parenting time.
Yes.
And you were also discussed the burden of transportation to Grand Forks from your home, correct?
Yes. I think it said Castleton.
Or from Castleton? Okay. But either way, it was, you were discussing, or part of the declaration was addressing that length of drive that you didn't want to drive, correct?
Yes.
And in that declaration, you put a blurb in there about numerous professionals believed limiting Blaine's parenting time would be in Kyson's best interest. Recall that?
Yes.
Did you attach any affidavit from any of those professionals?
You'd have to ask Ashley.
Did
I
you
don't know.
bring into your attorney's office or have any of these professionals bring to your attorney any kind of statement or any kind of written statement at all suggesting that they believe that Blaine's parenting time should be limited?
There were letters, but I can't recall if that was before or after that. Not when I gave them to her.
So on November 20th, 2025, your declaration, you don't have any specific evidence outlined in that declaration that one, Blaine was using illegal drugs, correct?
Correct.
In that declaration, you don't have any specific examples or specific names or specific documents that numerous professionals believe that Blaine's parenting time should be limited, correct?
Correct.
And still at that point in time, had you had any knowledge or any had observed or anything to do with Blaine and or Kyson in Blaine's care at Blaine's house?
Did I have any what?
Personal knowledge, firsthand knowledge
Of
of Kyson in Blaine's house?
personal knowledge? Like there?
Correct.
I've never been in his house, no.
Would you agree that the little you seen of Blaine and Kyson together were drop-offs?
Yes.
So in reading that declaration, your position is Blaine, who has now submitted tests that he is sober. He's working and he wants to spend time with his son. Should get less than every other weekend with Kyson?
I don't think we said less than every other weekend. I think we asked for a safe and healthy relationship by having supervision.
So you're okay with Kyson being with Blaine, but as long as he's supervised?
Correct.
And is that still your thought today?
Yes.
Is my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you're requesting that Blaine gets Friday at 5 PM until Sunday at 3:30 every other weekend, correct?
3 o'clock, I believe,
3 o'clock?
because of school, yes. And the drive. If there's transportation.
Just doing quick math, you're talking basically the biological father, you think is fair that he only gets 46 hours every other weekend with his son.
If it was a Jamestown pickup like it's always been, it could be 5:30. It could go 5:30 on Friday to 5:30 on Sunday. We have no problem with that because Kyson is still able to get home, get supper, get ready for bed, and be ready for school the next morning and be well rested.
So just quick math then, we got 24 hours in a day, 14 days a week, would break down around 336 hours.
I don't know. I don't have.
Assuming my math is
Calculator.
correct, that would leave you with like 290 hours every 2 weeks and Blaine with 46. Does that sound fair?
We're a positive influence for him.
Answer
Oh,
the
yes.
question.
Do you-
Yes.
So you, again, doing quick math, you think it's fair that Blaine only gets to spend about 13% of every 2 weeks with his son, and the other 87% should be with his grandparents?
Yes. Plus he would have the holidays like we have agreed on.
And I'm not taking holidays because that throws in, and I'm not that good at math, so I'm just talking every 2 weeks. But would you agree? I'm assuming my numbers are correct, that he's getting a lot less time with Kyson than you guys?
Yes.
Now that November 20th, that was your second declaration. Anywhere in there did you state that Kyson was afraid of his father?
No.
Anywhere in there did you state that Kyson or that Blaine had abused Kyson at all?
No.
Has Kyson ever, as far as you know, ever been physically abused by Blaine?
No.
Now, on December 8th, 2025, approximately 18 days after your November 20th declaration, you did a third declaration, correct?
Yes. Yes. I don't know.
You recall what's in that third declaration?
I would like to have my memory refreshed, please.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Barb, I'm handing you again, my laptop that has your December 8th, 2025 declaration. Could you review that?
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yeah.
Do you recall signing a declaration on December 8th, 2025?
Yes.
And at that time, when you signed the declaration, everything was truthful in that?
Yes.
And that was 18 days after your November 20th declaration, correct?
Yes.
And this was your third declaration now in this case?
Yes. I don't. The lawyer does the declaration types.
Okay.
Yes, I believe so.
In this declaration, you allege that Kyson was scared of Blaine, correct?
Yes.
And you would agree that that's a more substantial allegation than was in either of your previous two declarations, correct?
I think it's all important.
Okay. But that was not in your first two declarations, correct?
Correct.
So 18 days after your second declaration, now there's an allegation that Kyson is scared of Blaine. Is that correct?
Yes.
In that declaration, did you provide any kind of example or description of anything that happened within those 18 days that would have made Kyson scared of his father?
I'm just trying to recall what was written in there exactly. And I've read so many, so what's being said in which one?
So I'm just
Um,
talking about the one that was you just reviewed just now.
Correct. I know you are. Were there any specific examples, did you say? I
Correct.
believe, is this the one where,
So the declaration that you just read, so the questions are about that declaration. Recall the one we just read, correct?
correct?
Okay. You stated in that declaration that Kyson is now scared of Blaine.
Yes.
Okay. My question to you, is there any examples or descriptions in that declaration that would explain why Kyson's all of a sudden afraid of his dad?
He's not wanting to go there. He's physically sick.
So,
On Friday when I go to pick him up, I believe that was all written on there, if I recall.
so that was your observation, and then you came up with that he was scared?
No, he told me.
So obviously we've got three declarations. Again, I'm gonna ask you the same questions. If you personally witnessed Blaine threaten Kyson in any matter,
No,
have you personally seen Blaine physically harm Kyson in any matter?
no,
Do you have any firsthand knowledge of within that 18 days that Blaine had neglected Kyson?
only what was told to me by Kyson and the therapist.
So your allegations that Kyson was scared was based upon hearsay statements from Kyson made to you, correct?
or to the therapist and his behavior.
So you're asking the court's going to be dependent upon your recollection and interpretation of what a young child told you?
Plus everything else that's information that's gathered.
We're talking at that time you did the declaration. I'm not talking about everything that's happened with the reports and everything else since then.
Oh,
I'm talking
sorry.
about December 8th, 2025. You got this allegation there. What information did you have at that time that you knew that Kyson was scared of his father?
A child be,
Object is asked and answered.
I don't know if it was answered. I'm going to overrule the objection. But I get the point, Mr. Autry, as well. So
I'll move on here. In that declaration, you also alleged significant decline in Kyson's behavior, correct?
yes,
You referenced professionals in connection with the alleged decline, correct?
I reference what? I'm
In
sorry.
your declaration, you reference numerous professionals in connection with that alleged decline.
Yes,
And when did you first learn of these alleged, this alleged decline in Kyson?
at the time. I
So
mean,
within that 18 days is when you came to know
No.
that?
no, we've noticed the decline since the behavior pattern was detected in school in kindergarten. So starting September of 24,
So when he first moved in with you?
he
Or
moved in
shortly-
with us. Yes, shortly
shortly
after. Yes,
Okay. None of that was in your first two declarations though, correct?
no,
Would you agree that Kyson loves his dad?
yes,
Do you agree that Blaine loves Kyson?
yes,
You know that the parent investigator did a report and they concluded that Blaine and Kyson's bond has improved substantially. Would you agree with that?
yes,
And when I'm talking about improved, back in 2024, he was using legal drugs and obviously you guys took over custody. So we're talking about that bond within that 2-year mark, correct?
yes,
According to that report, Kyson's teachers reported that he looks forward to seeing his father. Do you recall reading that?
yes,
Do you disagree with that?
no,
So despite that he looks forward to seeing his dad, that he loves his dad loves him, you still have an allegation that Kyson is afraid to go to Blaine's house in your third declaration. Correct?
yes,
Today, are you still asking for supervised parenting time for Blaine?
yes,
And you believe that's necessary?
yes,
Now, you've read the parent investigator report, correct?
yes,
And she interviewed you, Blaine, Chloe, Lori, Scott, and Kyson's therapist.
yes,
I believe his teacher and his occupational therapist, also reviewed medical records, school records, a whole lot of different things, correct?
yes,
And her conclusion was that she did not recommend supervised parenting time. Correct?
I guess that's not how I read it. I read that there had to be a non-using adult with if someone is using marijuana. That's the way I understood it.
So can you explain that to me more? I apologize. I just got a little confused on the explanation.
I read the recommendation as stating that someone who has not been using marijuana has to be driving and be present if others are using.
So you think Blaine has a medical marijuana card, correct?
Yes,
So your position is if he's using medical marijuana per his prescription, he's got to have supervised parenting time.
Your Honor, I'll object that misstates the testimony.
I'm asking her to clarify, and that's specifically what I'm doing.
Sustain the objection, rephrase your question.
Blaine has a medical marijuana card, correct?
yes,
And your understanding is that's been prescribed to him, correct?
yes,
So you would agree legally he can use marijuana, correct?
yes,
And it's your position that if he's using marijuana, or is it your position that if he's using marijuana, he should have supervised parenting time?
yes.
We touched on this already, but you don't have any knowledge, personal knowledge of what happens in Blaine's household, correct?
Not personal, no.
So you don't observe meals or bath time or anything of that nature, correct?
Correct.
You told the parent investigator that Kyson comes back from Blaine's home dirty. And you described this as a recurring problem, is that correct?
Yes,
And that was, part of that was he had white animal hair on his black sweatpants?
that's part of it.
And obviously you understand that Blaine has pets, correct?
Correct.
And those pets, even if the child's clean, there's gonna leave hair on the pants. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
And you have pets at your farm?
outside, yes,
Okay. Does Kyson play with those pets?
yes.
Does that leave hair on his pants too?
I don't know. I don't check his pants.
Yeah.
He changes his pants when he comes in the house. I'm allergic to dog hair, cat hair, so he changes his clothes when he comes in.
So before he changes his clothes, would you agree that there's pet hair on there if he's been playing with the pets?
I'm sure there could be.
That was your only example that you gave. You said, let me rephrase that. You said specifically that he comes home dirty.
Okay.
And your example was the dog hair on him, correct?
Okay, yes,
Did you mention that he smelled funny or smelled dirty?
I don't recall if we did.
Well, is it in any of your declarations?
No,
If it's not in the report, would you agree that maybe you didn't tell that to the parent investigator?
okay, yes,
Okay. Does he come back smelling
yes, sometimes.
like he hasn't showered?
There's this very strong odor of something, but I can't say what it is.
So is that, you testify, or you gave information about being dirty and coming back with dog hair. At no point in time did you mention, at least not in the report of your declarations, anything about smelling bad or food stains or anything that would suggest examples of dirtiness? Did you?
No,
You kind of hinted that he wears the same clothes all weekend long, correct?
that's just what Kyson says. He doesn't change.
And you don't have any firsthand knowledge of that?
No. Just sometimes he comes back with the same clothes on.
Well, in fact, he comes back every Sunday with the same clothes you sent him with, correct?
No,
He comes back with clothes from Blaine and Chloe?
yes,
We've been in litigating this case now for almost a year, correct?
yes,
Do you have a cell phone?
yes,
Do you have a camera on that cell phone?
yes.
At any point in time, did you take pictures or document Kyson coming home dirty?
Can't recall if I have or not.
Would you agree that if you're going to court to say Kyson's home dirty, coming home dirty every weekend, that you should probably get some evidence of that?
Yes,
You stated to the parent investigator that Blaine has taken Kyson swimming once, bowling once, movie once, trampoline park once. Do you have any firsthand knowledge of how many times he's taken Kyson to any four of those things?
just when Kyson comes home and tells us what he did that weekend.
So
But
you,
I have not been there.
so you don't know if he's only been there once.
No, I have not been there.
So why did you tell the parent investigator that he's only been there once to each of those things?
Because that's what I was told.
You also mentioned or criticized Kyson playing video games at Blaine's home, correct?
Correct,
And again, you're not there during those weekends, correct?
correct,
You cannot personally count the number of hours Kyson plays video games during an entire weekend, correct?
correct,
You cannot personally compare those hours he spends playing on the video game to how many hours he spends fishing the lake, going to movies, bowling, going to the parks, different activities, correct?
correct.
You also state in there that Kyson returns hungry. Is that correct?
Correct.
Let's back up a little bit. Let's say the first time, when was the first time that you recall Kyson telling you that he was hungry after leaving Blaine's house?
I don't recall.
Do you recall ever bringing that to Blaine's attention that Kyson is saying this?
No,
And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but again, you're not there to know what he's eating
no,
at Blaine's house. And in fact, now that it's even been kind of brought up, Blaine is sending snacks home with Kyson for that trip, just in case he's hungry, correct? So I apologize. Has Blaine offered to send food home with Kyson?
never when I've picked him up.
So-
And I believe there was one time when Chad picked him up, he brought a can of Pringles.
Okay. Was Kyson allowed to take the can of Pringles with him?
Yes,
You arrange Kyson's therapy appointments, correct?
correct,
You drive Kyson to and from his therapy appointments?
correct,
And you communicate directly with the therapist, correct?
correct,
And you provide therapists with information concerning his behavior.
correct,
You provide information concerning anything that concerns you that you believe she should address with Kyson, correct?
things that I am unsure if they are things she should address, correct,
And some of those unsure things are specifically geared towards what Kyson is doing with Blaine. Would you agree?
yes,
When Kyson is in your care, is your position he doesn't have a whole lot of issues?
issues, can you clarify?
Well, is he acting out? Is he not behaving himself? Things like that.
He's a great kid,
So would you agree that most of the things that you are discussing with this therapist are things that you're unsure of at Blaine's home?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
Okay. You talked with the therapist prior to every session, correct?
Yes,
And you talked to him about things that you're unsure of about Kyson, correct?
right, if we see a behavior, if we see something that's out of the ordinary from what we usually see,
And would you agree that you were very unsure of what happens at Blaine's house?
yes,
And would you also agree, especially after going through your declarations, that Kyson sometimes tells you things that you don't necessarily agree with that happens at Blaine's house?
Your Honor, I'll object. I think that misstates the testimony. Or perhaps I don't understand the question.
I will overrule the objection. I don't think it misstates testimony, but I agree, Mr. Autry, it's a bit of a confusing question.
It is, Your Honor. I do apologize. Um, To your knowledge, has Blaine ever spoke to the therapist?
not to my knowledge.
To your knowledge, has the therapist ever reached out to Blaine?
I wouldn't know that information.
Did you provide the contact information to Blaine of this therapist?
No,
Which therapist are you referring to? Are you talking about the child's therapist? Are you talking about some other therapist?
Well, I'll clarify that for you, Your Honor. It is a child's therapist we're talking about, correct, Barb?
yes,
Okay, what therapist, by name, does he meet on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday?
Stephanie Mestry,
And what kind of therapist is she?
a child therapist that specializes in childhood, PTSD, trauma, children living out of their homes.
So this line of question that we're talking about here, when you visit with her beforehand, is this therapist right there, correct?
Correct.
You generally restrict iPad use at your home, correct?
Yes,
That's for both Kyson and his sister,
yes,
but you make an exception after therapy, is that correct?
for the travel time, yes. Not just after.
So according to, you read the report, correct?
Yep,
So according to the report, if the kids have been being good, you get them a sort of a reward for going to therapy, and that is to use the iPad.
no, it's not used as a reward at all for being good. That's not why it's used. It's to,
So did the therapist misquote you on that?
If that's what it says, it's not a reward. We don't use iPads for reward.
Your Honor, I will object of sorts. I believe it's the parenting investigator that indicated that, not the therapist.
Well, if I misspoke, Your Honor, I apologize.
Sustained to the extent that it matters.
The parent investigative report, do you recall?
Okay.
Talking to the parent investigator?
Yes, I talked to the parenting investigator, but I would have never said it's a reward. It's used as, not as a reward, but that's a lot for a child to sit in a car every week, every other week to go to therapy. So he absolutely loves electronics. And so that is a time when he can use it for part of the trip. I don't know. I don't consider that calling a reward, but maybe you do. I don't know.
And Your Honor, I'm just going through the report real quick, just to clarify what I'm asking her. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I'm handing you, the parent investigator's report. I guess, Your Honor, we haven't actually offered this into evidence. So there's no objection to offering into evidence at this
No,
time.
no objection.
Right, sir.
Parenting investigation report is received and made part of the evidentiary record.
Thank you, Your Honor. In our exhibits, it'd be plaintiff's or defense exhibit 111.
It's already in the record, so we'll just refer to it as the record index. I want to make sure I get that right.
Sure.
Parenting investigation report and recommendations is in the record at 240. Mr. Autry, is that accurate?
Seems accurate, Your Honor, but I don't have it in front of me, so I can't confirm that.
Ms. Heitkamp?
I'm so sorry. Your Honor, that was question.
I just want to make sure that everyone's talking about the same document. So the parenting investigator report and recommendations in Odyssey is listed as record index 240.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, that document again is received and made part of the evidentiary record.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Barb, I'm bringing to you a copy of the parent investigator report, page 15. Can you read that out loud? I've got it marked.
They get to watch TV for a little while in the morning when they get up. Barb does let them have an Amazon Kids iPad on their last 30 to 45 minutes on the drive after therapy as a sort of reward for going to therapy.
Yes.
So you read the report, and from the report, it sounds like you had mentioned that as kind of a reward for them for doing therapy, correct?
I don't know if I said that or if she put that word there, but either way, yes, he gets to have an iPad when he comes back.
And would you agree that that's pretty meaningful to Kyson since he does not get to use an iPad usually into your house?
Yes,
And would you agree that Kyson knows before therapy that, he may have that privilege of using an iPad after therapy?
yes,
And I would assume if you were punishing him or if he wasn't being good, he would not be able to use the iPad?
no,
Would
it's
that
not.
would that be some kind of punishment at all?
No,
Have you ever told Kyson that he must be good during therapy to receive the iPad?
never,
Have you ever withheld the iPad from Kyson after therapy?
never,
Has Kyson ever been not allowed to use the iPad after therapy, but his sister was?
not that I recall.
Have you talked to Kyson on what's expected to be said at therapy?
Never, just the truth. Take that back. I did tell him to say the truth.
And that's all you tell him?
Correct.
Did you ever, when you say tell the truth, is it tell the truth about Blaine's home?
His whole life. The truth about everything. It's the only way he's gonna get help.
Have you ever become upset with Kyson because he's not talking to the therapist?
Never,
Have you discussed with Kyson about any times when he was in therapy and kind of shut down?
never,
Do you agree that you talked to Kyson quite a bit about what happens at Blaine's house?
say that again, please.
Do you talk to Kyson quite a bit about what happens at Blaine's house?
Just what he shares.
So obviously you went through your declarations, correct?
Yes,
And would you agree a lot of that information that you got in your declarations is secondhand information you received from Kyson?
yes,
And your position is that Kyson just randomly says this stuff to you, you don't talk to him about it?
no.
Do you ask him about things that happen at Blaine's house?
If he says he went to the movie, I will say, oh, what movie did you go to? Or if he says he's hungry, I'll say, what did you eat for lunch?
Did you ever ask him about his pants being dirty?
He said it. He says when he's dirty, when he came home with his winter coat was filthy and full of mud on the drive to school, and he said, Grandma, my coat's dirty. The dog used it as a bed. And I said, okay, all we can do is brush it off and I'll wash it tonight when I get home.
Let's start with the specific example you gave to the parent investigator.
Okay.
The black pants came home with hair on them, correct?
Yes.
Kyson said to you, what?
He said to Chad. Chad picked him up that weekend.
So you don't have any firsthand knowledge of,
Not firsthand knowledge. That was Chad. But I did see it.
so your testimony today is that you've never conditioned Kyson's iPad privileges on what he says during therapy.
No,
You've never told him he must discuss Blaine and what happens at Blaine's house in therapy?
never. I never tell him what to say.
And you never became angry when he shut down and didn't talk to his therapist?
I didn't know that he did shut down and didn't talk to his therapist.
You said that you didn't know he's ever shut down with his therapist. Has he ever been pretty guarded
With whom?
with his therapist? Excuse me. Sorry, Your Honor. We're talking about the therapist.
Are you talking about Stephanie Mestry still?
Correct.
Stephanie Mestry hasn't told me that.
During the school year, you mentioned that you're worried about Kyson returning too late on Sundays after Blaine's parent time.
Yes.
And in reading your declarations and obviously the report, it is your position that you want him back so he can get settled down and sleep before school?
Yes.
Did Blaine ever ask you to change his pickup time on Friday till 3 o'clock?
No.
What time does he pick him up?
5:30
Why is he at 5:30?
after work.
Whose work?
Mine?
Is there any reason that Blaine couldn't pick him up from school?
The therapist had recommended that the kids see one another before they part.
The judgment says specifically after school or after work, correct?
Correct.
And is it your position they were talking about after your work or after Blaine's work?
I assume mine because that's the only thing I have control of.
So you don't believe that the judgment specifically states that Blaine can pick him up after school or after he gets off work?
I was trying to do what the therapist recommended of having them see one another. And then that the only way he can do that, the kids can see one another, is if I bring the kids together.
I'm asking about the court order, not what a therapist recommends and not what somebody else has told you who's not here today. I'm asking you in the court order.
I would assume after everybody's work.
When Blaine asked you specifically about picking him up from school, you told him no, correct?
I've never been asked.
Blaine's never asked you about picking Kyson up from the school directly?
Not that I recall.
Has he ever asked about picking him up at 3 o'clock?
Not that I recall. No.
Do you recall here a while back when Blaine contacted you about spending a little bit more time at the lake and asked if you guys could pick up Kyson at 4 o'clock in Fargo instead of 3 o'clock in Grand Forks?
Yes.
Okay. And did you allow that?
No.
Where were you located at that time?
Jamestown.
Okay. So he's asking you, saying, hey, look, Kyson's at the lake with me. I will meet you in Fargo at 4 p.m. for the exchange, which is, would you agree, almost an hour shorter for you?
Yes.
But keep him until 4 instead of 3. Which would be an hour difference, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Did you agree with that?
No.
Why not?
Because the time that he's spending with Blaine causes him issues. And the time that we had agreed upon was 3 o'clock on Sundays. So we were trying to follow the schedule of 5:30 Fridays, 3 o'clock Sundays.
Do you remember when that happened?
The
You-
date, are you saying a
Yeah,
date?
do you remember
I
when
don't remember the exact date, no.
do you remember approximately how long ago it was? Was it during the summer months?
Yes, probably.
So your testimony now is that the time he spends with his father, even an extra hour, is causing Kyson issues, so you don't want to allow that.
I just want to do what's best for Kyson.
Do you not think that spending time with his father is the best for Kyson?
Not if it's negative, no.
Did you include anywhere in your declaration or provide any information to this court at any point in time that that specific drop off negatively, that date, Kyson was negatively affected by being with Blaine?
No,
So we're talking an hour more to spend with his dad, and would cut an hour out of driving for both Kyson and yourself. Actually, it would be 2 hours for you, 1 hour for Kyson, correct? Because you're not driving to Fargo or Grand Forks anymore. But you still didn't allow that to happen.
correct.
Has Blaine asked you for additional parenting time on other occasions?
I don't think he's asked. I don't recall.
Have you ever given Blaine additional parenting time than what's listed in the judgment?
Yes.
When?
He, I can't recall, it might be May, April or May, June, in that range. He had Kyson in Jamestown versus Grand Forks and asked for a 5:30 pickup. And so Kyson was picked up at 5:30 instead of 3 o'clock on Sunday.
From where?
Chad did it. I believe it was Scott and Lori's house.
So you gave him a little bit extra time because he was in Jamestown.
Not, yes? Yes?
Has Blaine offered to go to Jamestown, stay with his mom, and bring Kyson the next morning?
No,
He's never offered that to you.
no.
Would you agree if he did offer that to you that you would allow that, or would you not?
Could you restate that?
So parenting time, instead of 3 o'clock in Grand Forks, he's in Jamestown. He goes to Jamestown and he's gonna drop off Kyson at 8 a.m. the next morning per the judgment. Do you have a problem with that?
Yes, I think that's what we were trying to eliminate, was that Sunday night, so that we could try to have Kyson be better rested and be better ready for school on Mondays.
Has Blaine requested telephone contact with Kyson?
Yes,
Have you denied parent telephone contact between Kyson and Blaine?
yes.
Again, do you think it's not in the best interest of Kyson to have telephonic conversations with his dad?
No, I think he should have telephone time with him,
Then why would you deny it?
because CPS has said that had told us that if the parent is being disrespectful or seems out of control, to stop conversation for 24 hours.
When was the last time CPS was involved in this case?
Involved in this case?
Correct.
I don't know that it's been involved in this case.
Involved, let me rephrase that. When was the last time CPS was involved in Kyson, with Kyson?
I'm guessing it would have been in 2021, maybe 2022, maybe 20, I can't recall. It's in that area.
And
Been
was
a
this
while.
when they would have told you that?
Um, yes, so I work with CPS as well, and it's common practice that that's what they do.
So do you have any evidence to support that you brought here today with you? That Blaine has been disrespectful to you over the phone?
Yes,
Okay, what did you bring? Any kind of recordings?
text messages.
Text messages are not phone calls with Kyson, correct?
Say that again, please.
I'm asking specifically what phone calls with Kyson. Your testimony is if Blaine is being disrespectful to you, you can stop the call. Am I correct?
Yes, that is the CPS guidelines that they use.
Okay, so how does Blaine get denied a telephone call before he's even on the phone then?
If he is texting us negative things repeatedly and name calling in the texting, then we do not put that or allow Kyson to have that phone call right then. We allow time for calming down.
So if Blaine texts you something that you disagree with or you think it's inappropriate, his punishment is to not have a phone call with his son?
Objection in this case.
I'm asking her if that's her position.
Overruled.
It's not punishment. I think it's in the best interest of Kyson to not witness his father talking negatively about us or to be saying something negative.
Has Kyson requested to talk to his dad and you've said no?
Yes, I believe there's been 2 times.
Why would you say no?
One time it was at bedtime and it was almost 9 o'clock. And he was trying to sing me a song, a rap song that I do not know, and I do not know rap song. He was trying to teach me the song and say the words. And he said, "Can I call my dad to get the words?" And I said, "Not right now." I said, "It's bedtime right now. We don't need to sing it right now." And he was fine with that. And then the other time was when he asked to call for a breakdance video, a video of him breakdancing and trying to do the moonwalk. He said that his dad took a video. He wanted his dad to send that to us. And I said, right now it won't work because I actually was on the phone and actually had both kids with me. So I said, ask Papa when we get home.
So did he? was
So
he
he
allowed to-
wasn't denied. He was just asked, he was denied at that exact moment. I only have one phone.
Would it have hurt to let Kyson call his dad real quick at 9 a.m. Or 9 o'clock at night before bed as you guys are visiting about random things? To let him talk to him for a minute?
We just have the house rule that we don't use the phone after 8 p.m. We're just following our rules that we use.
You read the report by the parent investigator, correct?
Yes,
And you read in there then that she says you probably should be recommending, or you should be allowing telephone calls between Kyson and Blaine?
yes,
And if that's ordered by the court, would you follow that?
yes.
You and Chad manage all of Kyson's medical care, correct?
Yes,
We're talking therapy, dental, doctor's appointments and all that, correct?
yes.
Have you provided any of the information for doctors, therapists, dentists, or any of that information to Blaine?
Yes, I sent a text message.
Text message stating what?
He had his dental appointment today, 0 cavities. We went to the doctor today. He needs medicine.
Let me rephrase that question. Have you sent to Blaine the specific contact information of who these people are?
No, I was never asked. I didn't know he wanted it. He doesn't respond when I tell him about it, so I took that to mean he didn't care, and why was I sending that information?
Well, now we're almost a year into this litigation. It's clear that, at least according to his declarations, he cares, correct?
I don't mean that doesn't care about Kyson. I know he cares about Kyson. I thought it didn't matter specifically which one it was at. But he definitely can have that information. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, part of the complaint in this case is that Blaine is not part of the therapy. He's not part of the doctor's appointments. He's not part of the dentist appointments. He's not part of any of that. Would you agree?
No,
You don't think that's part of a complaint by anybody?
I don't mind taking Kyson to his dental appointments, I don't have a problem with that.
As we sit here today, um, your testimony was that the bond between Blaine and Kyson has grown quite a bit over the last couple of years since the judgment, correct?
I haven't personally seen that, but that's what is reported, yes.
Well, does he talk more positive of his dad nowadays than he did back in 2024?
No,
He doesn't talk more positive.
no.
The therapist we were talking about, I apologize, I forgot the name, but that meets on Tuesday with Kyson. Who was that again?
The child therapist,
Correct.
Stephanie Mestry.
Okay. And I believe she reported that Kyson is tired and hungry when he leaves Blaine's home. Is that correct?
Yes,
His appointments, Kyson's appointments with his therapist are on Tuesdays. Is that correct?
correct,
And you pick up Kyson Sunday at 3 o'clock.
correct.
How would this therapist have this information that supposedly happened on Sunday?
Kyson tells her, I'm sorry. Plus, he's still asking for food.
He's asking who for food?
Stephanie,
So on Tuesday, he's asking his therapist for food.
he's asking for a snack, yes.
Okay. So that's why the therapist thinks he's still hungry from his visits with dad.
Based on what Kyson is telling him and based on, yes, she's asked if I've seen anything, like when he asked for snacks.
Have you given any information to the therapist to suggest that Kyson was hungry after Blaine's visits and tired?
She's asked me if I've noticed that he is hungry and if he is acting tired, and I have said yes.
So your conversation with the therapist was supporting that he comes back from dad's house hungry and tired, but it's your position that she approached you with it. You did not approach her with that information.
I don't recall who approached who.
That therapy appointment is on Tuesdays after Blaine's parenting time, correct?
Correct.
And is that something you specifically asked for?
No, the therapist did.
Why would the therapist ask about that on Tuesdays?
Why would she ask about what?
Having the therapy appointments Tuesday after Blaine's parenting time.
Because I had given her the behavior calendar from the teacher showing that he was struggling on the weeks coming back from dad's house. And then he would do good the next week.
So I'm
And
assuming these are the calendars that you included as exhibits in this case?
I'm guessing, I don't know.
When did you start with this therapist?
In 2024, the end of 2024.
So the end of 2024. Has his Tuesday meetings changed? Has it always been Tuesdays after Blaine's parenting time?
Originally, starting out, it was every week on Tuesdays. He would go every Tuesday. And Tuesday is chosen, just because that day the school has mass on Tuesday mornings. And we are not Catholic. We attend church on Sundays and Wednesdays. So that's the easiest time for Kyson to miss school for his therapy appointment. After it was to go down to one or every other week, when she said she felt like he was doing well enough to go every other week, so he didn't have to miss as many school mornings. She asked if it could be follow the dad's visitation schedule. And I had no objection, didn't matter to me.
When was that changed to that?
I don't recall. I could look it up. I mean, could find that information, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
Did you, have you questioned Kyson at all after Blaine picks him, or after you pick him up from Blaine's house?
No,
During the drive, you don't question Kyson at all?
I respond to what he says. So we don't ask him questions first, other than, oh, I take that back. We do say, did you have fun? Or something like that. But that's just a generic question. We don't ask for specifics unless he gives us something, he says something.
So let's look back in the last 4 months. Oh, 3 months, last 3 months. Whenever you picked him up and you asked that question, did you have fun? Is the answer usually yes, or is it usually no?
I'm not the one that picks him up, usually.
So you don't know.
You have to ask Chad.
You don't know the conversation that happened in the car. You're not present during that conversation.
I'm not present for that conversation.
Oh, that's fine. When Blaine previously got primary residential responsibility, he allowed Kyson to maintain a relationship with you and Chad, correct?
Yes,
And he allowed you guys to have time with Kyson alone, just you and Chad, correct?
and with his sister. It's never alone.
Well, with the sister who's with you.
Yes, yes,
And you were permitted to attend activities and things of that nature for Kyson?
yes,
And he allowed Kyson to see his sister?
sparingly, yes.
So he didn't simply just cut off family ties between you and Kyson when he got custody, did he?
No, but there were a couple months in between being able to see him.
Would you agree that Blaine is doing, from what you can see from your knowledge, that he's doing much better than he was back in 2024?
I have no idea.
Assuming that he's not using illegal drugs at all, and he's in a house, and he's got a job, is that better than it was back in 2024?
Yes,
Since 2024, has Blaine consistently exercised the parenting time that he was allowed?
yes,
And at any time during that parenting time, has Kyson came back injured?
yes, well, I wouldn't say injured, but I would say he's full of scratches, he has bruises pretty consistently, but not like a broken arm or a broken bone.
So let's say scratches and bruises, you haven't reported that to anybody, correct?
No,
As some kind of abuse? You,
no, I
you
have
think it was
not.
some kind of abuse being done to Kyson?
I don't know that it's abuse. No,
In fact, he's a boy and I'm assuming you guys live on a farm. He gets bumps, bruises and scratches on your farm too, correct?
correct.
Would you just say that's kind of the same kind of injuries that he would get in both houses?
It could be, yes.
Could I ask about the schedule, only because I have just that?
Oh,
We've been going now for 2 hours on the calendar or on the clock. My intention was to run a little bit late for lunch. The reason is at 1 o'clock, I have some in custody defendants that unfortunately bump today's hearing. So I probably won't be back and available until 1:30, 1:45. And as a result, we're going to run out of time today, particularly because this is the first witness. So we can break now if you wish. Undoubtedly, with as long as this witness is taking, I anticipate aren't going to finish today. So we probably are going to need another day. Ms. Heitkamp, what are your thoughts?
I would agree. I think the rate this is going, we're looking at a second.
probably true, Your Honor. If we want to take a 15-minute break, allow council to go to the bathroom and just get done with what we can before you have to, or you're thinking about leaving about 12:30, so you guys can do lunch and be back for it, correct?
That was the thought
Yeah,
process was
my
about
apologies.
12:30
He's
for
like,
us.
I wanna eat.
I forgot about feeding staff and stuff, yes.
Well,
Yeah, I'm fine with
I
calling
can make
right
it
now.
through it, but
You
I have staff as
staff,
well.
Correct.
So
Yep, no, that's fine. I think then, maybe me and council can talk about confirming up and shoring up, exhibits and stuff too.
here's what we're gonna do. We'll break now and that way we can deal with lunch. When I come back we're gonna recall the case as soon as I'm available. And like I said, we have 2 in custody matters. So by the time rights are read and I get through those, it's probably 1:30, 1:45-ish. Hoping closer to the 1:30, we'll start. We will resume. Party should be prepared to talk about scheduling at that point. So, ma'am, I will advise you that you are subject to a sequestration order as well, which means you can't talk with anyone about your testimony, including other witnesses, about what you have testified about. We'll resume. I'll need you back in the courtroom probably in that 1:30 range. Understood?
Yes. Your Honor, could we have a reminder to everybody in the courtroom as well?
Yes. So again, the sequestration order applies and it's to everyone here. The witnesses are not to discuss their potential testimony. So that adjourned until 1:30.
His office can,
Ms. Williams, please approach. And again, I will remind you that you remain under oath. I placed you under oath before you began testimony earlier this morning. Please resume your seat in the witness chair, make yourself comfortable, and when you're ready, please let me know.
I'm ready.
All right, Mr. Autry, you can continue your examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Williams. Obviously, Blaine is Kyson's biological father, correct?
Yes.
And his parental rights remain intact.
Yes.
And I think we've testified to this, but he loves his son as far as you know, correct?
Yes.
And Kyson loves his father. Would you
Yes.
agree? Back in 2023, 2024, Blaine voluntarily sought treatment when he recognized he was struggling, correct?
I don't know if it was voluntary or I don't know. Yes. I
okay.
mean, according to what I know.
Oh yeah, and if you don't know, that's fine. But he did go into treatment as far as you know.
Yes.
And since that time when he was clearly using illegal drugs and just starting his sobriety or just starting his treatment and stuff, would you agree there's been substantial changes from that point, at least until now?
Yes.
And he's regularly exercised his unsupervised parenting time since the judgment came out 2024, correct?
Yes.
And you don't know of any testing that has showed that Blaine has been using illegal drugs since 2024, have you? Are you aware of any test results that have shown that he's been using illegal drugs?
No.
And then do you have any evidence today to suggest that Blaine's been using any illegal drugs since 2024?
No.
The parent investigator did not recommend supervised parenting time, did she?
Sustained. We've covered a lot of this morning.
And I've got a couple more questions, John, and it is I'm not sure. I'm just making sure I dot my I's and cover my T, cross my T's maybe. The parent investigator found that you and Chad should be more forthcoming with additional parenting time and information, correct?
Yes.
So whatever disagreement you may have with Blaine's parenting style, that evidence does not establish that Kyson must be protected from his father through supervised contact, does it?
Can you say that again, please?
Do you agree with the way Blaine's parenting style?
No.
But that disagreement with the parent style, is there any evidence that establishes that Kyson must be protected from his father through supervised contact?
Yes.
Okay, what evidence is that?
The therapist stating that.
This therapist that's never met Blaine?
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Heitkamp.
Thank you, Your Honor. Barb, there's a number of initial questions that Mr. Autry has already asked you, but there's just a couple more I want to add. And that is, you are Erica's mother, correct?
Correct.
Erica Williams?
Correct.
And Erica is the child's biological mother.
Correct.
And does she live with you?
No, she does not.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
Yes.
Okay. How are you employed?
I work part-time for the North Dakota Health Department's program titled Right Track. And I work on our farm.
What is Right Track?
Right Track is a program for children birth to 3 years old. And I go into people's homes and into daycares. And I assess their child for development in all areas. So fine motor, gross motor, expressive language, receptive language, social and emotional health.
And prior to that, what was your main mode of employment?
I was a teacher in the Jamestown school system.
What grade?
I taught kindergarten for over 15 years. I taught preschool. I taught second grade and I taught third grade. And I do now, and back then I subbed from preschool through college age.
And Mr. Autry just asked you if you believed that there was a substantial, change in this case, and you said yes. Did you mean that in the legal sense of substantial change pursuant to the judgment? Or pursuant to statute?
No,
Okay, do you know what that means even?
no, I thought he meant if there was a substantial change in Kyson since the move.
Okay, and we'll come back to that. in a moment.
Oh, okay.
There was also a question about your understanding on whether or not Blaine could resume primary custody of Kyson if he was in fact sober for a year. Was it your understanding that if Blaine demonstrated he was sober for a year, he would just automatically get primary custody of Kyson?
No,
Was it your understanding that if he were able to demonstrate a substantial change, including 1 year of sobriety, that he'd get to come back to court?
yes,
Does it concern you that Blaine has in the past tested negative on UAs, even though he's admitted to using during some periods?
yes.
Objection, Your Honor. She has no knowledge of this.
Lay some foundation, sustained for now.
And so Barb, in the parenting investigation report, Ms. Beta, I apologize, noted that there is Mr. Hare's records indicate that he has in fact tested positive on urinalysis testing, despite having used drugs during those periods. Do you remember reviewing that portion of the PI report?
Yes,
Does that concern you?
yes,
Now, at the last hearing in this matter, you were there?
yes.
What was your understanding of where Blaine was going to be exercising his parenting time?
In Jamestown at his parents' house
And what was your understanding of why he wanted to exercise his parenting time in Jamestown at his parents' house?
because he was living in sober living and couldn't have a child there.
And excuse me. Do you believe that it is best for Kyson if Blaine's parenting time occurs with Scott and Lori?
Yes,
And I want you to turn, you've got an exhibit book in front of you. I want you to turn to exhibit 2. Are you there?
yes,
Okay. Do you see how at the top of the page here it says messages, Chad, Blaine here, and then if you move over to right, Barb Williams at Daxel.com.
yes,
Are these text messages between Chad, Blaine, and himself?
yes,
And it looks like the time period.
Stop, Miss Heitkamp. I need to clarify.
Sorry.
So the exhibit book I have, I want to make sure that the documents I'm looking at are identified because the exhibit list has differing numbers.
And
So-
if I may, Your Honor, I believe my staff did not update the exhibit list. The binder should be.
All right, so with that, I need you to tell me what document I'm looking at before we start asking questions about it.
Absolutely. Exhibit 2 in the binder, Your Honor.
Okay? And remember,
Can you like just angle it
All right, so Exhibit 2, describe what it is before we start asking questions, because there has not been a stipulation that I've accepted on this.
I wasn't going to ask questions quite yet.
Okay. I
And
just want to make sure we're on the same page, talking about the same document.
Sure. And Barb, these are text messages at the very top between, it says Chad, Blaine Hare, and Barb Williams. Can you see that?
Yes,
And the very first text message to the very last one are dated August 9th of 2024 through July 17th of 2026. You see that?
yes,
And you provided these text messages to Sydney Beta, correct?
yes,
Your Honor, I'd move to admit Exhibit 2.
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 2, the text messages are received.
And at the very top of the exhibit, you're going to see numbers in bold black letters. Those are Bates stamps. Turn to Bates stamp 10. Are you there?
yes,
Okay. About 3/4 of the way down, there's a larger message from Blaine to yourself. And I guess for the record, I want to point out, you're the one that downloaded these messages, right?
yes,
And so your messages are on the right.
correct,
Blaine's and Chad's messages are on the left.
correct,
And you can see how each message is either identified as Blaine Hare or Chad, right?
correct,
Because that's how you have them saved in your phone.
yes,
And so on August 22nd, 2025, at, it looks like 9:16, Blaine messaged you and indicated, I forgot to let you know at pickup that I will need you to pick up on Sunday, or pick up Kyson on Sunday from me instead of my folks dropping him off Monday morning. I know I have accommodated you this whole year by driving back and forth and drop off, but I need you to start picking him up at my town as I have yours. Please pick him up Sunday in Grand Forks at 5:30 p.m. I will let you know the gas station Sunday morning. Did you see that?
yes,
So that was 9:16 at night. At 8:10 the following morning, you responded and said your town is in Grand Forks, 2 question marks. Do you see that?
yes,
Okay. And is this the very first time you learned that Mr. Hare had relocated to Grand Forks?
yes,
And at that point, is it your understanding he had already been living in Grand Forks since late June of 2025?
Can you say that again?
Is it your understanding that Blaine had already been living in Grand Forks as of late June 2025?
Yes,
So you found out approximately 2 months later?
yes,
Blaine said that he has been driving to your town for a year, but at that point, he had only been living in Grand Forks for, again, approximately 2 months, right?
yes,
Were you surprised to learn that Blaine had relocated to Grand Forks?
yes.
What was your understanding of why Lori and Scott Hare, Blaine's parents, were allowed to drop off Kyson on Monday mornings without Blaine being present?
Because they were allotted Sunday nights or Sundays at 4 until Monday morning before school to have time with Kason, since they're his grandparents.
What was your understanding of where Blaine was going to be on Sunday nights?
At the share house or at Grand Forks, depending on when it was.
Okay, so it was your understanding that he was going to be going back to Grand Forks Sunday afternoon?
Yes,
Not that he had to, he could have.
right, right.
Also, going back to this August 22nd, 2025 text message, Blaine says, please pick him up on Sunday in Grand Forks at 5:30. What was your understanding of when Blaine's parenting time ended at that point?
Monday morning at 8 a.m.
And so this was the first you heard that he wanted to end his parenting time early on Sunday?
Yes.
Did it concern you? When Blaine moved to Grand Forks, did it concern you that Scott and Lori did not live there?
Did not live there, did you say?
Correct.
Yes.
Did it concern you that Scott and Lori weren't going to be a major part of the equation anymore?
Yes.
What were you concerned about particularly?
Tyson's well-being and his safety.
Did you reach out to my office at that point?
Yes, I did.
And this was August 22nd. You were able to reach out to my office, secure a retainer, get the documents drafted, reviewed, signed, and filed by September 9th. Is that right?
Yes.
Now that September 9th affidavit concerned transportation, right?
Yes.
Why did you not at that point already right then and there request supervised parenting time?
Because we were going to see how things went and how Kyson handled being in Grand Forks without Scott and Lori being involved.
Okay. And how did it go?
Our concerns kept building.
Okay. And we'll come back to that in a little bit here. You were questioned about your direct knowledge of Blaine's drug usage from 2024 on. Have you ever, in your entire life, witnessed Blaine use an illegal substance?
No.
Has Blaine ever told you when he was using an illegal substance?
No.
And so yet you know for a fact he was in fact using illegal substances at some point, right?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. I'd like a little clarification on what kind of time frame we're talking about here.
Sustained.
As of 2023, you know that Blaine was using controlled substances,
Yes.
but you didn't see him use those substances.
No.
You have the right to request that Blaine submit to drug testing. Is that right?
Yes.
And you requested a drug test in September of 2025, right?
Yes.
Did Blaine submit to a drug test in September of 2025?
I believe it was October of 2025.
About a month later?
Yes.
Did it concern you that it took him a month to get that drug test processed?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask if you could please tell everybody in the courtroom to just maintain a certain level of decorum. Thank you.
So I've already given Mr. Hare that warning, so that warning applies to everyone.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to go back. Did it concern you that it took Blaine a month to submit to a hair follicle drug test?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because we had noticed a change in how Blaine was texting us starting earlier that summer. And I had started calling around in Jamestown to try to find a place where we could ask him to have a drug test, because I knew that that was something that was allowed in the judgment. So I started calling around based on his behavior had changed, and it was not consistent behavior. It was more up-down behavior. And
When you say behavior, are you referring to, well, what are you referring to?
the way he was talking to us in text messages and at pickups, he would avoid us. He would avoid eye contact. He would not get close to us.
And the judgment specifically states that if anyone has concerns at drop off or pickup, that you have the right to request a test, right?
Right.
There was some questioning regarding therapist statements or documents from therapy. Did you provide all of the therapist documentation and letters to Ms. Beta?
Yes, I did.
And are you aware of the fact that Ms. Beta spoke to the therapist?
Yes.
Have you made a conscious effort to keep the therapist out of having to testify at this hearing?
I would like to maintain Kyson's relationship with his therapist. And I feel like if he's told that she's said a lot of what he's told her, that it could cause some issue.
He might not trust her anymore.
Correct.
There was also some discussion about what is and isn't fair in terms of how much time Kyson spends with you guys versus how much time he spends with Blaine. And whether or not it's fair that he gets every other weekend. I'm not going to add up the hours because I don't like math. And you guys get the majority of the time. That is something Blaine agreed to, right?
Yes.
And for all intents and purposes, Blaine's parenting time still goes until 8 a.m. on Monday morning, right?
Yes.
Did you request that his parenting time end at 3 o'clock on Sunday?
No.
Who requested that?
I believe Blaine is the one who said 3 o'clock on Sundays, and I believe that we had talked on January 8th when we were in court that the way the judgment was written, one place said that his parenting time ended at 8 a.m. on Monday morning, but with Kyson being in school, it had to end on Sundays. It had to end. And
I'm going to stop you for a minute.
okay.
Do you mean because Kyson was with Blaine in Grand Forks, his parenting time needed to end on Sundays?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
And so do you think Blaine was appropriately looking out for Kyson's need to get to bed and get to school the next day?
Yes, when he changed from 5:30 to 3:30, that was much better for Kyson.
Okay. And so you're in agreement with that, right?
Yes.
Okay. But it's also something Blaine agreed to, right?
Yes.
How do you and Chad primarily communicate with Blaine?
Through texting and then at pickups.
Do you ever call Blaine?
No.
Do you keep Blaine and Erica informed about how Kyson is doing in school?
Yes.
I want you to turn to Exhibit 4 in front of you. Your Honor, I would move to admit Exhibit 4. I believe Mr. Autry would step you in.
It appears to be text messages.
Text messages, Your Honor.
Mr. Autry,
Your Honor, no objection to the text messages from July 17th through the May 29th. We've got marked as Exhibit 4, but I'm not sure what you have on your docket over there.
Exhibit 4 in the book is received. These have not been pre-filed, so.
And only to make sure that we're all on the same page, if you could turn to bait stamp 5 of Exhibit 4, Barb. Let's go all the way to the bottom. The last message there is June 10th, 2025, right?
Yes.
I just want to clarify the time frame.
Okay.
Now, could you please go back to bait stamp 1?
Okay.
At the very top, you're going to see these are messages between Chad, Erica, Blaine, and yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay. Your messages are on the right hand, and Blaine, Chad, and Erica's messages are on the left hand side.
Correct.
And their messages would be identified by their names because that's how it's saved in your phone. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And on August 20th, 2024, I don't want you to read the message, but could you give the court a brief overview of what this message was for?
This was a message asking, first, it was a message saying what I felt were red flags for Kyson moving on to first grade. It was some of the red flags that I, as a past kindergarten teacher, had for him. And then it is explaining or saying that he could go to a different school. That way nobody knows he's repeating because they don't know him, so there can be no embarrassment. And then it asks for his thoughts and Erica's thoughts on that.
I want you to scroll to bait stamp 2. September 4th, 2024. You're telling everybody on that thread that Kyson wanted to try ninja training at gymnastics. He loved it. You see that?
Yes,
And then approximately 13 days later, you're informing everybody on the thread that he saw the podiatrist, must have some issues with his toe, but you're giving them a general update about what's happening with the podiatrist. Is that right?
yes,
Now, you testified earlier that, no, you did not tell them who the podiatrist was. Were you ever asked?
no, this was an appointment of a name I believe they gave me. So I figured they knew who they had told me.
So when you say they, who do you mean?
I don't recall if it was Scott, or no, I'm sorry, Lori or Blaine who sent that information to me on who he was seeing as a podiatrist.
Okay, and Lori is Blaine's mother.
Correct.
Point being, though, is that this was something that was already established prior to you receiving primary, right?
Yes.
And then I want you to keep looking down, January 24th, 2025. Are these, looks like a kindergarten report card and some other updates about how Kyson's doing in school?
Yes.
There was some notion in the parenting investigation report that you make efforts to hide the teachers' names when you send over report cards. On the January 24th, 2025, my eyes are not going to be able to read that, but my understanding is that the teacher's name is listed there. Is that your understanding?
Yes, the whole thing is there.
Okay. And so turning to the next page. Same day, you gave everybody on that thread updates on the oral surgeon. Is that right?
Yes.
I want to pay attention to a February 21st, 2025 message from Chad. And in that message, he is talking to the entire thread about Kyson having nightmares and bad thoughts about Fortnite and Jurassic Park, things of that nature. Do you see that?
Yes.
And so is that kind of your typical, how you guys would go about bringing up issues with co-parenting?
Yes.
Please turn to the next page. May 29th, 2025, another report card.
Yes.
Teacher's name is listed.
Yes.
What's that picture at the bottom?
That's Parents' Day at St. John's Academy and in kindergarten. Kyson could invite his mom and dad to school for a little program at school. So that's a picture that the teacher took of them and then put in a little frame that Kyson made.
Okay. Turning to the next page. Looks like you're sending more updates on schooling throughout that day. Is that right?
Yes, and assessments.
Is this an example of one of the ways you would communicate with Erica and Blaine at the same time?
Yes.
Are there other times where you communicate on the thread with just Blaine and Chad, not
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Recently, have you been communicating more on the thread with just Blaine and Chad?
Yes.
Why is that?
because when we were in the full group and when Blaine asked us to come to Grand Forks to get Kyson, and the way he was talking in the texting, Erica asked him to please talk respectfully to everybody. And then he changed over to, or Blaine changed over to texting just in the group of Chad, me, and Blaine.
Why don't you go back to Exhibit 2 for a second? And if you turn the page to Bait Stamp 2. Do you see on October 19th, 2024, where you're sending a link to Kyson school pictures?
Yes,
And this is the thread with just Blaine, Chad, and yourself, right?
yes.
Why don't you turn the page? Almost all the way down on November 30th, 2024. Do you see where Chad is letting Blaine know about Kyson's Sunday school schedule and what church?
Yes,
Turn the page. I'm sorry. Why don't you turn all the way to Bait Stamp 22? You see on April 12th, 2026, how you sent Kyson's report card?
yes.
Okay. The teacher's name. Do you know, did you purposely cut the teacher's name off of this report card?
No,
If you click on the picture, would it enlarge?
I don't know.
Fair enough. I want you to turn actually one page back. I missed one on Bait Stamp 21. Do you see at the very top there? Looks like Chad sent a picture regarding the Jimmy Football Summer Academy 2026. Do you see that?
Yes,
So this type of communication between yourself, Chad, Blaine, Erica, is this common in terms of how the four of you would communicate and make sure you're in the know about what's happening with school and with dentists, doctor, things like that?
yes. That way there's a record. I can recall what I did or didn't send, or if I forgot to send something, I can look it up.
Okay. Now the judgment from 2024 required Kyson to be in therapy. Did you find Kyson a therapist?
Yes,
And why did you choose Mestry, Stephanie Mestry?
because she was qualified and because I already go to that establishment for his sister. So it made sense
For
to,
Aubrey?
yes, it made sense to, if I'm driving to Fargo, to drive to one place in Fargo.
Just for the purposes of the record, Aubrey is Erica's older daughter, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And how old is Aubrey?
10,
And how old is Kyson?
8.
Okay. And they are half siblings, right?
Correct.
And you have non-parent custody, primary residential responsibility of Aubrey, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Has yourself or Chad ever asked Blaine to bring Kyson to certain activities?
Numerous times. Excuse me. Sorry.
That's okay. Take a minute.
Numerous times we told him about different activities, birthday parties, church events that were going on, and we would hand him instead of putting it in the text messages, we would just hand it to him, give it to him. I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Did you ever ask Blaine to bring Kyson to certain activities?
Yes. So those were things that were going on in Kyson's life at that time, so we would let him know about it in person. And then also like when we asked if it would work with like the Jimmy football camp, will that work for you on your weekends as well? Because the games are on Sundays. So it would involve his parenting time. So I need to know if I should sign him up or not. Because if he can't go, then there's no, every Sunday or most Sundays, then it doesn't pay to sign him up. It's not fair to his team.
Has Blaine ever been non-responsive when you've asked him things like that?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever opted to not sign Kyson up for things because you weren't sure Blaine could take him?
Yes. So we did not sign him up for football then. We did not sign him up for soccer. Kyson would like to play soccer. We did not sign him up for that either because when I looked up the soccer schedule, some of the games were on weekends as well. There are some during the week games, but there's also some weekend games.
What is the process, and whether it's informal or formal, what is the process for Blaine talking to Kyson over the phone?
He just sends us a text message when it works for him.
And says, can I talk to Kyson?
Yes.
Now, we'll talk about the consistency of phone calls and things like that in a bit. But for now, just for the court's purposes and just to clarify, would you be okay with picking one date, one time that it works to have phone calls between Blaine and Kyson?
Yes, as long as there can be some flexibility if the children say sign up for a sport and that sports practice is at that time that we had designated. I don't think it can be a concrete time, but during that period, or let's say there's a family birthday party that pops up that night, I wouldn't want to not be able to have Kyson be a part of that because he was waiting to take a phone call.
Okay, but provided both of you could be flexible and frankly use some common sense, it might make sense just to pick a specific date and time.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit more about Kyson. Before I forget, can you describe for the court Kyson's relationship with his sister Aubrey?
Oh my goodness, they love each other. They have a very strong bond. They are tight. They're each other's rock. They're each other's best friend. They can finish each other's sentences. It's unbelievable.
You indicated that it was important that Aubrey and Kyson see each other before school on Monday. Why is that?
Both for Fridays and Mondays, the therapist had recommended that the kids check in. They call it check-in with each other. And basically what that means is they're checking in with each other on their emotions and their each other's safety, so that they can then concentrate, like on Monday morning, they can concentrate on school then, versus if they don't see one another, they're wondering, is so-and-so okay? You know, if each other is okay. The first question both of them ask when they're separated, the very first question is always, where's Aubrey or where's Kyson?
Okay. And have you informed St. John's about Blaine and Erica's legal right to know what's going on with Kyson?
Yes, I gave them a copy of the judgment and where it shows in there that they're able to have paperwork sent to them, and they're able to call and talk and find out information. I talked to both of the principals. Both the principals contacted me and just said, so we just want to clarify in case one of them call, can we talk to them? I said, yes, of course.
With regards to Kyson's behavior, how was his behavior in kindergarten at St. John's?
He was mostly silly and silly and active little boy, but
Uh,
very polite, very polite. The teachers also said, always said, he's a very polite little boy and he's a very loving little boy.
And so that would have been for the school year 2024 to 2025, is that right?
Correct.
Did he ever get in trouble? Did he ever hit anyone or swear or do anything particularly naughty?
Um, he got in trouble mostly for not wanting to share or not wanting to be how should I say it? Don't use double negatives. He wanted to be first in line. He's competitive. He
Okay.
wants to be first.
And then did he go to first grade for the school year 2025 to 2026?
Yes.
Okay. How was Kyson's behavior in first grade?
It's declined.
Can you elaborate on that?
More aggression. The teacher told me that there's more aggression, more defiance. He's checked out more, not paying attention, not focusing.
Has the school implemented any type of system to help him monitor or rather manage his behaviors and help you monitor his behaviors?
Yes, so the teacher asked if it would be okay if they could use a behavior chart for him to try to get his behavior under control and monitor his behavior. It would become a physical record of his behavior as well, so that we could monitor it and make sure that it was improving with the things we were trying.
Okay. And in Miss Beta's report, it indicates that Kyson's therapists think that things have actually gotten worse with Kyson's behavior rather than better. Do you remember that portion?
Yes, and the teacher said the same thing.
When did things start to decline?
Mostly after Blaine moved to Grand Forks, and then there was another like pretty significant decline in January, towards middle of January, end of January.
And so I just want to make sure we have our dates correct. You learned that Blaine had moved to Grand Forks on August 22nd, 2025.
Correct.
Did things start to make sense about why things might be changing with Kyson at that point?
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
Because I felt like he was more tired. He had less routine, less schedule, less monitoring. And he's a little boy who really does well with structure and with routine and with schedules and charts to be able to see things.
Now, to be fair, that would be right about the time when school's starting back up.
Yes,
plus it's summer vacation.
yes.
So is that also part of why you decided to let things sit and see how it went?
Right. I was trying to give Kyson a chance to get into his school schedule, his school routine, and see if that had any impact.
And again, did things get better or get worse?
They stayed pretty steady. I wouldn't say they were declining until probably the second half of the school year.
I have in my notes, when did you learn that Kyson was dating his now wife? But I'm gonna assume I meant Blaine. When did you learn that Blaine was dating his now wife?
Kyson told me that his dad had a girlfriend from California.
Were you surprised when Blaine demanded that you drive to Grand Forks to pick Kyson up?
Yes.
And at the time of the current judgment being in place, what was your understanding, based on the information you had at that time, about where Blaine was going to be exercising his parenting time?
At his parents' house
And they live where?
in Jamestown.
And so you guys had agreed that pickup and drop off would be where?
At the Exxon gas station in Jamestown. Chad and I would drive to Jamestown for each pickup and each drop off. And there's a gas station in Jamestown called Exxon that is across from Pizza Ranch. And that is where we have met for the last 2 years.
And how far of a drive is that for you guys?
About 25 miles.
How far of a drive is it from Scott and Lori's house to the Exxon station?
Maybe 2 miles? I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
Roughly 2 miles.
Do you think that it's feasible for either you or Chad to continue driving 6 hours round trip to pick Kyson up every other weekend?
No. We also have Aubrey.
And how does that play into it?
Well, it's very hard because Aubrey can't be with for drop-offs and pickups because it's harmful for her mental health. And so the therapist has asked us to keep her separated from Blaine. And so to do that, we have to separate as a family. I work, Chad works, and our weekend is our only family time, like to go do things. And then if we're separating one of those days as well, I don't think it's fair to our family life.
One moment, Your Honor. Nothing further, Your Honor.
You redirect, Mr. Autry.
Thank you, Your Honor. During this morning when I was questioning you about when you knew about Blaine moving to Grand Forks, you stated you had no idea, that you did not know. Is that correct?
Yes, we weren't told when until that text message.
Okay. But now you're stating that you know that he moved there in June of 2025?
No? If I said that, I'm sorry.
What is your understanding of when Blaine moved to Grand Forks?
I don't know when he moved there.
Okay. So you mentioned that, the reason why you filed your first declaration, it was because of worried about Kyson and his well-being and safety. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. What time, when did school start that year?
What year?
In 2025, the fall of 2025. Does
In
it
August sometime?
starts in August sometime? The end of August?
No. Generally it starts around the 20th or the 21st of August, in that area, 19th to the 21st.
Okay. You just testified that you waited to file anything because you wanted to see how he did in school. Is that correct?
I don't know if I said just school or in school and life. I don't know. I
Do
don't
you recall
recall.
testifying that Kyson was kind of declining the first part of school
Yes,
and that your attorney brought up, well, it's the first part of school, some kids are nervous, things like that. Do you recall that?
yes,
And you stated that you wanted to hold off on filing anything to see if it had to do with more with school or if it had to do with things possibly at Blaine's place. You recall that?
not if it was more school. If school was causing part of the issue or not, is
Okay.
what I meant, sorry.
So school starts August 20th. You go into your attorney's office within, well, you go to your attorney's office, file a declaration within 19 days of school starting or approximately there, depending on when school started, correct?
Yes,
So did you really give it some time to see if the school was affecting him?
there was a very distinct change in Kyson. Very distinct. It wasn't minor. It was very, I would say, it was a major change in him.
When was that major change?
I don't have the exact date in my mind, but
Well, was it was it before or after he started school?
um, I'm going to say that it must have been probably right around mid, beginning to mid-August, maybe. We were starting to see things.
And I believe in the exhibit here, you had first found out about, you first asked Blaine if he moved to Grand Forks. When was that date? Was it August 22nd?
Can you tell me where you're at?
Do you recall the text message that stated specifically asking if Blaine had moved to Grand Forks?
Yes.
Do you remember approximately that date?
In August sometime, maybe?
Okay. And do you recall when I questioned you a little bit about it earlier? You testified that when Blaine first asked that you guys come to Grand Forks, you said no, and that he did not have that parenting time at that time, correct?
Okay, yes,
Is that, I mean, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, I mean, is that correct?
yes,
Okay. So during that time frame of him having school starting, Blaine's supposed to have parenting time and does not get his parenting time. That is when Kyson declined rapidly, correct?
no,
No.
yes,
I don't want to put words in your mouth. I mean, we're talking end of August to you filed your declaration September 9th, correct?
yes,
Okay, you find out Tyson's in, or I mean, excuse me, Blaine's in Grand Forks, middle to end of August, correct?
yes,
Okay. You testified that towards the end of August, Kyson had dramatically changed. His behavior and everything drastically went down. Is that correct?
Yes, but he was very good with us still.
Okay. Assuming that he was very good with you, how did you know his behavior went drastically downhill?
Because then when he would come back after he was with us for that period and he was very good and well behaved and a good listener and not being aggressive, when
Okay.
he went back for a visit, things were different.
Blaine did not have a visit though at the end of August, correct? You guys canceled that visit, correct?
No, I believe that was in September.
Okay, so when Blaine told you that you had to come down to Grand Forks, did you cancel that visitation when you guys said, no, we're not coming there?
In September, yes.
That was in September.
I believe that was like September 5th and 6th. If I recall correctly, I would have to look exactly, but I think it's September 5th and 6th because that was a weekend of Kyson's flag football. And he was still doing football that weekend.
You stated in September of 2025, you requested a drug test from Blaine. Is that correct?
Yes,
Did you personally request a drug test from Blaine?
through our attorney, yes.
Correct. So there was nothing besides through your attorney, a request for a drug test. Is that correct?
No,
And you kind of mentioned this in the report, in the parent investigator report, but there were some issues with that paperwork and things of that nature at the beginning of this case where it wasn't served properly, and there's some different issues that popped up, correct?
what paper?
Well,
Wh-
it wasn't, the dates weren't correct on there, the notice wasn't served out, some different things that happened. I wasn't involved there. Do you recall talking to the parent coordinator about that? About how it got dragged out?
I believe so. I think there were some dates missed or a notice that wasn't filed or something. I can't remember. I can't remember exact details. I don't know a lot of legal information.
No, and I don't want to confuse it with legal jargon, but I'm just trying to paint the picture. So that request was made by your attorney,
Yes,
and then there were some issues with the filing and service and different, whatever happened. But then the following month, Blaine did get that hair follicle test, correct?
yes.
So you state that Blaine was let me get this correct. Your thoughts that Blaine was using illegal drugs was because his text messages were different and because he avoided you and Chad at pickups. Are those the two reasons?
We were trying to decipher why there would be a change and the drug test, the difference in behavior, a drug test would be one thing that would help us try to pinpoint what was going on.
But were those the two reasons? I mean, was there any other reasons that you know about?
What were the reasons you stated?
Well, that he was texting you differently and that he avoided you when you guys picked up. He avoided having direct contact with you guys.
Yes,
Isn't it true that over the last year or so, there's just not a whole lot of contact between you and Blaine and Chad at drop-offs and pickups? There's just not a lot.
yes, that's correct.
Your testimony was that you did not bring the therapist as a witness because you did not want to interfere with Kyson's relationship with that therapist. Is that correct?
Yes, and my attorney is the professional. She knows who she wants to bring.
the judgment is something that you guys had agreed and stipulated to Friday after work or after Kyson gets out of school until Monday at 8 a.m., correct?
Correct,
And that's what Blaine agreed to, correct?
correct.
Now, since this litigation has started, Blaine has changed that to allow Sunday pickup at 3 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And you testified to that he was doing that to help Kyson directly, correct?
Correct.
Does that mean that he wants to keep that schedule forever?
I have no idea what his intention is.
And the big reason for that change was because of school. You guys didn't want school or Kyson to be tired at school on Mondays, correct?
I think the change was so that Kyson could get home, get fed, and get to bed on time.
To be ready for school the next day?
Correct.
Why, now that it's been 2 months in the summer, have you guys not been able to go back to Mondays at 8 a.m.?
We were just following this court order that was on January 8th, I believe, saying
What
to follow it.
follow, what court order and what to follow
Or
what?
maybe it's not an order. I don't know legal terminology. We were told January 8th to follow the paperwork.
The paperwork would be the judgment, correct?
Yes.
And the judgment says what?
And the judgment that we had agreed to and changed to was Friday at 5:30 to Sunday at 3 o'clock. That's what was agreed upon.
And that was agreed upon, like you testified, Blaine agreed to that to allow Kyson to be able to get rest and be ready to go the next morning for school.
Right?
So again, my question is, why would you not allow that to be changed during the summer months?
With all of the struggles that Kyson is having, it's best to keep the time frame the way it was.
So with all of his struggles, is it your testimony that with all of his struggles, when I say his, Kyson's, let me rephrase that, is your testimony that with all of Kyson's struggles, it's better to limit his time with his dad?
Yes, if he's not being fed and if he's not getting adequate sleep, he needs proper care.
Have you offered any kind of evidence at all to suggest that Kyson is malnourished when he's in Blaine's care?
No?
Your Honor, quick question, Your Honor, did you have to be done at 3 or at 3:45?
Court staffing starts at 3:30, so we'll finish.
Okay.
We can go right up until people start pouring in here for drug court staffing.
Nope, I will hurry through. I just want to make sure it wasn't 3 and I'm taking your time.
Nope.
Kyson, kindergarten he went to, and then he redid kindergarten at, is it St. John's? Is that what-
Yes.
Okay. Kyson's teacher did not say that he needed to redo kindergarten, his initial teacher, correct? I should say his first kindergarten teacher, when he first went to kindergarten, that teacher did not say that Kyson needs to go to kindergarten again.
No, she did not.
One of these deals, one of these text messages talked about, hey, look, Jimmy football's coming up. Kyson wants to do that. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, with the limited amount of time Blaine has with Kyson, how would you expect him to drive from Grand Forks to get to Kyson to practices and games on his weekends?
I thought he was going to be in Jamestown at his parents' house.
Okay, but you know he's living, at that time, you knew he was living in Grand Forks.
Right, but he uses his parenting time at Grand Forks, the lake, and at Scott and Lori's. We never know. where he's going to be on his visitation weekends.
So since he moved to Grand Forks, June of 2025, so assuming that that was correct, how much time has he spent with Kyson at his parents' house? How many weekends? Let's just do that. How many weekends has he spent specifically at his parents' house?
I have it written down if you'd like me to get my calendar out.
Okay. Is it more than 5?
Yes,
So since then, since he moved to Grand Forks, it's been more than 5.
yes,
Let me back that up. After the court ordered specifically that you guys were to drive to Grand Forks for pickups, how many parenting times have been in Grand Forks, or excuse me, has he had in Jamestown? How many weekends?
again, without looking at my calendar, I would just be guessing, but I don't know. I mean,
Well, let me back you up. Maybe this will help you. Since the judge ordered you guys to drive to Grand Forks, has there been any parenting times that you guys went somewhere else besides Grand Forks?
yes, we go to Grand Forks, Fargo, or Jamestown to pick Kyson up.
Okay, so you've done that throughout since the judge's order,
Yes,
okay? But we talked about the one time when Blaine offered to have you guys come at 4 o'clock to Fargo instead of Grand Forks at 3 o'clock, and you said that you refused that, correct?
correct.
You testified that Kyson's therapist says that the kids should check in before they go to dad's for the weekend. So that Friday beforehand, and then also check in with each other. We're talking to 2 siblings again when he gets back, when Kyson gets back, correct?
Yes,
Okay. But that's a therapist that's not here today, correct?
yes.
So,
But I believe that that is in the text messages. We let them know that the therapist has recommended that
but the therapist has not let anybody, or not let Blaine know that, correct?
through us.
Okay. So this therapist can unilaterally take away a parent's parenting time for this check-in
I'll
process?
object. I think that misstates the testimony. And is argumentative.
Well, I don't think it misstates the testimony, so that objection is overruled. I don't think it was posed in an argumentative way, although the question itself might be somewhat argumentative. I'll sustain the objection, rephrase the question.
I'll move on, Your Honor. I know we got some time limits here.
And just to be fair, I'm not imposing any time limits on the parties. Today, we have some time constraints, but if the parties need the 17th or whatever day we agreed on and the 18th, I'm going to give the parties as much time as they need to put on their evidence. So just to be clear to the parties.
No, thank you, Your Honor. I just want to take the court's time in consideration and make sure I'm asking the important questions, not just bouncing around.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You had testified that in August, we're talking that August 25th, or excuse me, yeah, back in August, fall of 2025, when he went to school, you testified that Kyson felt, or you felt that he needed more monitoring, more routine, more schedules, all of that things, and that's why you needed to file that declaration, correct?
And for his safety, his well-being.
And again, all of that you took into consideration, you put all that, everything that was important in that declaration that you did on September 9th, correct?
I gave the information to our attorney and she chose what she wanted to put in the declaration.
Okay. So you did declaration in September, you did another one in November,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
And neither one of those mentioned anything about safety, that being abused, he's being neglected, any of that kind of stuff. It was about changing the parenting time to allow, so you guys didn't have to travel to Grand Forks, basically. Correct?
We were hoping to make the situation better with less information and less conflict. Because we knew the more we said, the more hostile Blaine would be.
You find it questionable that shortly after you finding out that Blaine is living in Grand Forks and that he's asking you to travel, that all of a sudden Kyson has this huge downfall, but none of it's mentioned in any of your declarations?
Can you repeat the question?
Do you find it questionable, or do you think it's questionable that you find out middle of August that Blaine has moved to Grand Forks and he's expecting you guys to go to Grand Forks, and all of a sudden Kyson has this huge downfall? I mean, you said a major, because he didn't have routine, didn't have all this, wasn't getting monitoring, all this different things. So he has this huge downfall at the beginning of the school year. And that just happens to be right after Blaine informed you guys that you have to drive to Grand Forks?
I can't help the coincidence.
So it's just a coincidence?
That he had a decline, is that what you're asking?
Correct. He had a decline right after that happened.
Without looking at my calendars, I write it all down, so I could look at my calendars and I could give you more information about what happened specifically.
Is it also a coincidence then that in neither your first two declarations, all this huge downfall and all these bad things that Kyson's supposedly going through are not mentioned in those?
I gave the information to my attorney and she is the professional to decide what needs to be input.
Is there anywhere in the current judgment from 2024 that says Blaine's parenting time will be in Jamestown?
I don't recall if it specifically states Jamestown, but I think it's stated that he lived in Share House maybe, and that,
No, I'm talking.
I'm not sure.
The judgment I had you review this morning, did it say anywhere in there that Blaine's parenting time was gonna be, did it say anywhere that it had to be? Did it say specifically Jamestown? Did it say anywhere else?
I don't recall. I read so much. I don't recall what it specifically said.
Would it be?
I know that it stated that it went until Monday morning and that Blaine did not need to be present Sunday night, that his parents could be there. So I
Was there-
assumed if his parents are there and if that time was allotted for his parents, I assumed that it would be in Jamestown because his parents live in Jamestown.
Anywhere in the judgment, does it say parenting time for Blaine's parents? Anywhere?
No,
Does it say anywhere in that judgment where the parenting time will take place?
I don't know if it says at his parents' house or not.
your first issue with the parenting time was transportation, and I've heard your attorney say it's a 6-hour round trip. I think it's listed at 5.5 or 5 something, but it's a long trip to go to Grand Forks for parenting time. Would you agree?
Yes.
Why would you not agree to have extended summers for parenting time instead then?
Because when Kyson comes back to us, he has had significant steps back. And we're just trying to do what's in the best interest of Kyson as far as his safety, his health, his intellect, his physiological being.
So right now, Kyson is spending Fridays at around 5 to Sundays at 3 o'clock. Correct?
Correct.
Do you think that is enough time for Kyson to have with his dad?
I do when Blaine is saying things that are emotionally hurtful to Kyson about us or about the situation, or telling him that he's going to come live with him.
So again, I'm not asking you for hearsay. I don't want to hear what Kyson says. I'm asking you,
Okay.
46 hours a week or every 2 weeks for a biological dad, is that enough parenting time for him?
In this situation, yes.
And that's because Kyson's in danger when he's with Blaine?
Possibly.
Have you brought any evidence today to prove that he would be endangered if he was with Blaine?
Me specifically, no.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Garner, may I ask a few questions? And the reason I say that is because we do have cross motions. I don't intend to call Ms. Williams again.
All right, I'll allow it, but keep it tight to the redirect, please.
Sure. There was quite a bit of testimony about when you started to notice a decline in Kyson's behavior. And I believe you testified that that was August. I'm going to say August-ish.
Right.
Okay. You did not file the motion to have Blaine's parenting time be supervised until December of 2025. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that because you were trying to give this entire situation a chance?
Yes.
Did Kyson's behavior and things for Kyson get much worse
Yes.
between, excuse
Oh,
me,
sorry.
between August and December?
Yes.
There was a insinuation that you filing your motions coincidentally happened at the same time that Blaine asked you to drive to Grand Forks. Did it also happen coincidentally at the same time you learned Blaine lived in Grand Forks?
Yes, it had less to do with the fact that we found out he lived in Grand Forks and more to do with the fact that he was very different to us.
Do you need a reason to ask for a drug test in the judgment?
I think it just says that we have the right to ask.
Okay, so it doesn't say that you need to have 3 or 4 reasons.
No,
Doesn't say that Blaine needs to look at you funny at pickups and drop-offs.
no,
You just get to ask him for a drug test.
yes,
Okay. And you did that on September 9th, right?
yes,
The court's order regarding the notice of motion was filed October 2nd. To your knowledge, was a hair follicle test ever done in that time? Between September 9th and October 2nd?
no,
I want you to turn to Exhibit 2. Date stamp 20. Let me know when you're there, Barb.
I'm there.
Do you see the message, the very first message on February 5th, 2026 at 11:08:56 a.m.? Chad, it says, I appreciate the offer and maybe we can work things out like that in the future. Do you read that?
Yes.
This is in response to Blaine asking if you guys can be flexible with different pickup and drop off times, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Chad said, I appreciate the offer. Maybe we can work things out. But for right now, the judge made it very clear that he expects us to follow the judgment.
Yes.
Was it your understanding that this court wanted you to follow the judgment?
Yes.
Is it still your understanding that this court wants you to follow the judgment?
Yes.
All right. Have there been times where you have tried to work with Blaine on pickups and drop-offs?
There's been times when it's been changed.
Okay, so if you turn to Bait Stamp 22. Do you see on April 11th, 2026, where Blaine says, hi, FYI, we've decided to stay in Jamestown this weekend, so you can pick them up at my folks' house tomorrow at 5:30. Chad says, K. See that?
Yes.
Chad didn't go to the Exxon station. He went to Mr. Hare's house. Or,
He
excuse
went
me,
to his
Miss-
parents' house.
Thank you. And so nothing further.
And step down, thank you. The time is now 3:24. Certain we're not going to get through another witness in 5 minutes, and that's when drug court starts. So I am going to adjourn for today. Are there any other housekeeping matters that we need to address
Not for
before we break?
I don't think so, Your Honor.
Not
Ms.
from my
Heitkamp?
end, Your Honor.
Ms. Beta? All right. And so again, from what was the date that we agreed to? Was it September
17th, I believe.
17 at 9 a.m.? All right. Next issue is exhibit books. Do the parties want these exhibit books back for now? I know there are some that have been received and the clerks are keeping them, but I think I have a judge's copy of plaintiff's exhibits. I don't have a judge's copy of defendant's exhibits.
I did I did the clerk and the defendant, or judge too, so.
Okay.
I know my exhibits, and I did change that one for 105.
Perfect.
Are all stipulated to and agreed to, so that is a good binder right there. This, we will put together a written stipulation, and then the court will know exactly which ones we agree on.
All right. So for the time being, Ms. Heitkamp, I'm going to give this to you. So the clerk doesn't have double copies. So I'm returning plaintiff's exhibits, the judge's copy, the plaintiff's exhibits proposed. I'm going to leave with the clerks because they're in a binder as it sits now. But again, the defendant's exhibits have been stipulated to and received, and those are now in the clerk's possession. Clerk is also in possession of the proposed exhibits from plaintiff. But again, I'm not keeping the judge's copy for now. All right. Anything else, folks?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
No,
All
Your
right.
Honor, thank you.
Again, thank you for accommodating my scheduling changes. I appreciate it. We'll see you back in about a month.
Thank you, Your Honor.